One of my favourite bits of animation from The Simpsons appears in There's No Disgrace Like Homer. And I don't want to spoil anything, but the moment I love is when Marge, Bart, Maggie, and Lisa are all looking at Homer from inside the car. And it's got a very, shall I say, fiery reception. And that bit I absolutely love. So this is an episode I have seen several times because, as I've mentioned in my previous discussions, I keep trying to watch The Simpsons in its entirety. My plan is to watch every episode, and I keep getting so far and then, getting sidetracked with other shows and then forgetting where I get up to. So I'm discussing them partly because I love to talk about The Simpsons, but also partly because it will help me to remember how far I got with this one. This episode is a lot of fun, and I found this to be really interesting. There is a picnic at Uncle Burns's. I don't know what that means. At Mr. Burns's house. It is quite interesting that two episodes back to back focus quite heavily on Mr. Burns and Homer's job, the previous episode being Homer's Odyssey. But only half of the episode is about this picnic. Homer realizes that while he is there, his family may not actually be that typical. It's quite normal for families to show love and be affectionate, and The Simpsons don't really do that as a family unit. So he decides to try and get everybody to have family therapy. I won't say the outcome, but I will say that it's chaotic and probably everything you could have expected to imagine from this, because The Simpsons do what Homer asks and go to therapy. But needless to say, the therapy they're paying for, Dr. Monroe isn't exactly a therapist you would want to go to. Let's put it at that. Some of his methods are unorthodox at best. Pretty sure he paid for all of his certificates. This gives us some hilarious results. And I'm not going to say how it ends, but I will say the kind of final message that it gives is something I really liked. I think it had a very satisfying ending. Often The Simpsons will just kind of end with a gag. Sometimes it will have kind of a sentimental moment. This is one of those times, and I really thoroughly enjoyed that. It's a really good episode. The sack race, the animation of the sack race, I really liked. I liked the sound effects. There's something about that scene that's just so brilliant. It's so unimportant as well compared to the rest of the episode, and it's not one of the most iconic moments. But the sound effects and the animation of that sack race, I thoroughly enjoyed, and I can't really pinpoint why, but I really did. I think Bart and Lisa in this have a great attitude. Lisa on the water fountain, absolutely loved it. Marge's singing, brilliant. This is the first time, obviously we're only 3 episodes in, but this is the first time we get a bit of a musical number in The Simpsons. Obviously, as we progress through the seasons, there are more and more of them. I can't wait till I get to talk about the Mary Poppins inspired episode, Cherry Bobbins. Very, very looking forward to that. But I really like this, really well animated, really nice character development for Homer, which is the second episode in a row where Homer has been the main focus. I was going to say as head of the household, that's to be expected, but is Homer the head of the household? Is Marge the head of the household? I kind of feel like Bart and Lisa rule the roost. Also, when Mr. Burns called Bart Brat, I don't know why it amused me as much as it did, but it really did. Really brilliant episode. Directed by Gregg Vanzo and Kent Butterworth, written by Gene and Mike Reiss, or Reiss, of course, created by Matt Groening. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Even though it was released in the 90s, there's no time to it. And this is usually the case with The Simpsons. There are some episodes that feel a bit dated. There are some that feel ahead of their time. But this one is undateable, by which I mean there's nothing about this that I think makes it feel like it was 1990. Except the quality of the animation, which I think is even stronger than the 90s. What can I say? There's no disgrace like Homer there's no disgrace like home. I keep calling it Homer, and I don't know why. But I kind of wish they'd called it There's No Disgrace Like Homer. I feel like that would have been a better title. I don't know. But either way, There's No Disgrace Like Home. Really thoroughly enjoyed it.